Welcome students to our class on rational numbers. Today we are going to solve the exercise 1.1, the first one. This is the sum which you have to solve using the properties of rational numbers we have already learnt. Negative 2 upon 3 multiplied by 3 upon 5 plus 5 upon 2 minus 3 upon 5 multiplied by 1 upon 6. Now over here there are 5 fractions with their operators in between. It can be a negative sign, a positive sign, or a multiplication between fractions. We are going to make group of fractions, a pair of fractions where a multiplication sign is in between, which can be solved much faster. Now over here if you see the first two, negative 2 upon 3 multiplied by 3 upon 5 becomes one group. Can you find another group where the multiplication sign is in between? Yes, the last two, negative 3 upon 5 multiplied by 1 upon 6. Also note that 3 upon 5 in both these groups are common. The remaining odd one out is plus 5 upon 2. So you see, I have put them into groups. I have identified the groups. Now let me shift the odd one out using the commutative property. We have learnt in the commutative property that you can shift the terms or interchange the terms. So let me shift plus 5 upon 2 and bring the second pair of fractions first. So you see, I have interchanged the terms using the commutative property. Now, since we know that 3 upon 5 is common, it signals to another property, that is the distributive property. We have learnt in the distributive property that A bracket B plus C or B minus C opens up into A into B minus A into C. So this is the expanded form in the step 2. Now we will use the distributive property to bring the first part of the distributive property, that is A bracket B minus C. Since 3 upon 5 is also common, we take it out. So you see here distributive property is explained. Since 3 upon 5 is common in both the pairs of fraction, you remove the 3 upon 5 and put it outside the bracket. Now what remains in the bracket? That is negative 2 upon 3 from the first pair, then the sign in between is negative sign, and the last term, that is 1 upon 6. Don't forget there is an odd one out which we have kept out, that is plus 5 upon 2, bring it down. Okay, now look in the bracket. We are going to solve what is in the bracket first. Now if you see, the denominators are different. So when the denominators are different and there is an operator sign of plus, or that is addition or subtraction in between, then you have to check the denominators. And the denominators are different, then we have to use the LCM method. Here I have used the LCM method and it is found that the LCM should be 6. So when I get the LCM and I solve it, I get negative 4 minus 1 upon 6. Plus 5 upon 2. Now when we have two same type of numbers, that is negative numbers, we have to add the numbers. So when we add 4 and 1, you get 5. Since the signs are negative or they are both the same, the sign remains the same. So we get the answer as negative 5 upon 6 inside the bracket. Now bracket means multiplication. Now let us remove the bracket and use the multiplication sign since we have only one fraction here. So when I open the bracket or remove the bracket and use the multiplication sign, it looks somewhat like this. 3 upon 5 multiplied by negative 5 upon 6 plus 5 upon 2, which comes down. So when I solve this, I can cross cancel them because there is a multiplication sign in between. So it becomes 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6. It is going in the table of 3. And this 2, numerator negative 5 and 5 is cancelling out with the table of 5. That is 5 ones are 5, 5 ones are 5. We get the answer. You have to multiply the numerators, you have to multiply. So 1 multiplied by negative 1, remember there is a negative sign. 1 multiplied by negative 1 becomes negative 1, and denominator 1 multiplied by 2 becomes 2. So we have a new fraction here, negative 1 upon 2 plus 5 upon 2. Next step. Now since the denominator is same and there is an addition sign, the denominator is same, we keep the denominator same, that is 2, and the numerators we are going to solve them together. So over here we have negative 1 numerator plus 5. Since the two numbers are different type, that is one is negative integer and other is a positive integer, we have to subtract the numbers. So 5 minus 1 becomes 4, but the sign remains of the greater number, that is 5. So 5 is carrying a positive sign, so we will have positive 4 upon 2. Now we have a fraction 4 upon 2, which can be further divided using the table of 2. 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. The answer is 2. You can try the next one out.